The following is a testimony of by coerced consent between Saberspark.
In 2012, I went to my first pony convention. This was my first time ever traveling by myself and was soon after the two of us became friends. When I met up with him in person, he invited me to his hotel room. After that, he almost immediately initiated making out with me and guided me to his bed. In this moment, he did not directly ask me for consent. Saberspark was also significantly larger than me as I was an 80-something 18-pound-year-old girl, so I physically could not stop him. I maintained the friendship until a second occurrence happening at a completely different PonyCon in 2013. He guided me towards the stairs to go back down to where we just were and into a men's restroom where he pulled his pants down and guided my hands and head to perform on him. I don't wish to publicly defend my personal experience and just wish to share my experience.
Yeah, these are pretty crazy. Good evening everyone. Some of you lovely people might know about the animation commentary channel Saberspark, and if you do know him, you're either in band A where you don't mind them, or you're in band B where you don't like him at all. Now the most I covered about him at best was him being brought up as an avid defender of Gabriel Brown, who by the way is a man that went out touch with a 10-foot long pole. However, a couple of hours ago, a pretty well-known Twitter account just relayed some allegations about Saberspark from an apparent anonymous friend or lover of his back like 10 years ago. Now before you watch the video, please bear in mind that these are just allegations backed up by testimony rather than concrete proof, so I can't say for a fact that this person was connected to Saberspark, but considering his fan base and the population count of his haters, I really feel like this situation might grow pretty big, to say the least. Now this person Brony found on, I've seen a lot of them when I was covering the Gabriel Brown stuff, you remember, like sometimes they're controversial because they're giving a lot of stock to people like Destiny, the victim Destiny, if you remember, where they had a very weak allegation that completely fell flat. However, that said, this person, they have posted a lot of good stuff about Gabriel Brown. Like I remember, last week on April, or like 2 weeks ago, sorry, there was a very bizarre DeviantArt DM leak where he was talking to a much younger girl. I think I'm not gonna make a huge allegation now, but between 10 and 15, whatever. And he would say I love you, and he would respond with I love you too. So go check out that video. That's a different story. But now they're making new allegations. They're backing up a victim that's letting some very bad stuff against the YouTuber Saberspark. And they said the following is a testimony of rape by coerced consent between Saberspark and the victim's said testimony. There were two isolated incidents in 2012 and 2013. Can't remember. This will be in a video expose by I Love Kim Possible a Lot, releasing today. Oh shit. I'll just read this, real quick, because I've seen the evidence, in my face right now. I became a fan of Saberspark when I was in high school. Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer, this is my first time reading this. I'm not gonna say, some offers about Saberspark just yet. I'm gonna read this real quick, and then, I'll drop my thoughts. After that, after graduating and turning 18, I added him on Skype to tell him I was a big fan of his. He added me back almost instantly, and we had a conversation ending with him giving me his phone number. What age was he? Sorry, what? After turning 18, I guess I would listen to the story first, which was a really big deal to me at the time, since it was the first time interacting with any sort of celebrity. I had developed a parasocial crush on him due to being starstruck, which was something that he was aware of. Can I be completely honest with you guys? I don't like that power dynamic argument. They're always oh, he knew that I was a fan of him and he took advantage of that. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Just say, how old was this person real quick? Let me zoom in real quick. Turning 18. Yeah, you're 18. You're not really a child. At that age, you can make your own choices. Just say, but I digress. We would talk on Skype and text each other semi-frequently leading up to the first time meeting him. In 2012, I went to my first pony convention. It was my first time ever traveling by myself, and it was soon after the two of us became friends. When I met up with him in person, he invited me to his hotel room, and he showed me the video he was editing on his laptop. He caused me to internally geek out. Oh my god, bro, he made a geek out. What a no, I'm joking. I was really nervous by being in a hotel room with someone I was a huge fan of and had a crush on, but I tried to play it cool. He was 4 or 5 years older than me, also 22, 23. Okay, now we have a good, the person so far, the legend that was raped, apparently. So, I was in the age matters, so I'll carry on reading. He was 4 or 5 years older than me, making me feel more nervous and out of place. He would bring up the prospect of the two of us dating, and didn't feel right for us to do so. Okay, whatever. After that, he almost immediately initiated making out with me and guided me to his bed. In this moment, he did not directly ask me for consent. God, I feel bad for this person if they have trauma from this, but like if they're gonna make the argument that he didn't like directly ask for consent, but you still kept with him like during that night, I don't think that counts as rape. I'm sorry. Like let me read. I mean, so far, this is like the second page. There's 1, 2, 4. Shut the hell up. And 4 more pages left. They might make the most convincing argument so far, but for the opening statement, of a rape allegation, not so much so far. He didn't ask him for consent. I was thrown into his bed and he would insert himself into me. Saberspark was also significantly larger than me, and I was 80 something pound, 18-year-old girl, so I physically could not stop him. Oh, this is super difficult. Okay, like let's be super charitable, I say like he forced him, and yeah, but it's like stuff like this, where they say like he forced himself onto me, but like you never like actually just told him straight up, hey, I don't want this. Oh, I'm gonna keep my fucking mouth shut. But anyways, I felt extremely nervous and uncomfortable because I never experienced having any sort of sexual intimacy with someone I was not dating before, much less someone I just met. I was very new to meeting people online in general. At that moment, I later disassociating as I felt very wrong while trying to rationalize it in my head to convince myself it was a safe and normal encounter. He rushed off to clean and finish himself, and he came back to the bed and offered me a handshake, saying, "What? A handshake saying friends?" Oh, okay, like let's believe for a second, right? Let's say he fucked up, whatever. The idea of him giving me a handshake saying friends, what I'm not saying that did or didn't happen, but that's a really funny image in my head, regardless, of who it was. This was caused me for the rest of the event to feel that I was taken advantage of and ashamed of myself for not trying to stop the interaction. Okay, I think that's fine. That last part, for not felt ashamed for not trying to stop the interaction. I think that's fine, but you can't call a guy a rapist with his info so far because you don't want to say stop. Like you can say he was a huge brute, whatever. But like if you just ask him right then and there, odds are he would stop it. Whenever I watch a fucking Saberspark video, I don't think I don't see him as like a violent person. He's the kind of guy, from my knowledge, from my understanding of him, that he would stop, if a woman asked so politely, in my opinion. Though I was pretending I was fine to everyone around me. I was and still am demisexual. What? And being put in a position was not something I wanted. Next page. I maintained the friendship until a second occurrence happening at a completely different point con in 2014. This time, we met in a public space, but had no one around and talked for a while. He kept bringing up prospect of us starting a relationship, but how it felt wrong. So I'm reading that again. He kept bringing up the prospect of us starting a relationship, but how it felt wrong. Okay, well, like in what sense? Like age? I'm not gonna make a huge assumption based on lack of info. He would grab my hand saying that how it felt so right, only to push my hand away saying, but so wrong. I decided maybe like when he was cheating with somebody else, that might be the case. I decided that my crush on him was something I need to get over because I felt that my emotions were being toyed with. From what, really? I mean, from what I was told so far, you met him at a PonyCon 2012 and a different one in 2013. Like, was he manipulating you? Was he talking with you? I'm not getting that at all from this info. He then suggested going to a more public space around others we went. So you get right in now. I gotta solve those jokes. And we went into an elevator to go to the lobby of the PonyCon hotel. As soon as the door closed, Saberspark forcefully shoved me against the wall and shoved his tongue down my throat. It scared me and actually hurt, triggering another attack of dissociation. Once again, he did not ask for consent when throwing me into this situation. Oh my god, I might give I'll give it right now, fucking why not? Like, I've seen this story play out so many times with like somebody, like nothing against this person, this anonymous victim, but it's always the same story where, they're very, between each other, at the time, they were very, sending connections sexually, but in hindsight, they twisted in a way which sounds much worse. But there in context, in person, it was, just average, just two horny bastards, tongue throat fucking each other, like the same shit we know with Naomi King with like all this sexual shit, but the way it was twisted by her, that crazy woman, is sounded much worse, and everybody got swept up. But carry on. Once the doors opened and people were present, well, And this led me to feel very embarrassed. He got off and took my hand and guided me towards the stairs to go back down to where we just were, and to a men's restroom where he pulled his pants. Oh my god. Again, if you don't like the stuff, click off, click off, click off. He put his pants down and guided my hands and head to perform oral sex on him. I was afraid of denying him because of past experiences with sexual assault, so I did not get it over with without wanting to cause a problem. I feel like there's a lot missing here, to be honest. From what I'm hearing so far, you met him once, 2012, and then one more time in 2013. I feel like you were way more intimate with him about those two occurrences for him to make you, allegedly drag you to a men's restroom to have a blowjob. Anyways, where he would ejaculate on my face, apologize profusely, and oh my god, my eyes saw the friend's part again, and offered the same, oh my god, again, and offered the same handshake as he did at the con I initially met him, saying, friends? That's so okay, I was gonna say by accident, I wish that was true, but at the same time, that's me saying, I wish that all these fucked up allegations are true. I'm not saying that, but if that handshake part followed by friends, if that's true, that's so goddamn funny. Despite pretending I was fine, I had slowly begun pulling away from Saberspark. I cried that night while staying with a friend, but waited for that friend to fall asleep, and so no one could hear me, and I would cry for months, feeling ashamed of myself for putting myself in a compromised situation with someone I hardly knew. Alright, so far, I'm not really convinced at all. But anyways, this person wishes to remain anonymous, though can be reached out for question at the Sun. Is that actually them? Okay, I hope there's like a delegate of the victim, right? Because if not, then what's the point of you being anonymous, but I mean at the same time have like their own Twitter account out there? That makes no sense. Whatever. This story, as well as more, will be included in the previously mentioned video expose by I Love. Oh shit. Okay, if you guys want to go check her out, she's making a video soon, go right ahead, but I digress. This story recently delayed today. I'd always felt taken advantage of by him and tried being friendly and pretending nothing was wrong because it was all I knew how to do. I would blame myself for the interaction for years, only opening up to a few close friends, people, fuck me, questioning if consent was implied because of my crush and unwillingness and fear to outright try to stop the advances because of how uncomfortable I felt. And it sounded there was a possibility that he felt consent and was implied because he knew I had a crush on him. However, he now wants asked me for consent directly and was instead thrown into the sexual encounters, usually very suddenly. There were no discussions about the power dynamic between. Oh my god, I hate this argument. This only works even if somebody. The only situation I would buy this if it's like between an employee and a boss, but like it's you between fucking Saberspark. What power dynamic? Oh my god, he might fire me by making a dog shit anime review on his own channel. I don't care you, I'm sorry. Like, you can say, you phoned for him, whatever, that's fine. But, like, you're grown. In this allegation, you're a grown woman. You made the choice, just, like, step away from him, whatever. As a popular content creator and a fan at the time, my post social connection to him, and I wanted someone I was a fan of to hate me if I rejected him, leaving me afraid to stop his advances. He probably wouldn't. I mean, like you're making like a new idea, like, oh, I had to, I had to be with him, otherwise he would hate me. And as a fan of Saberspark, I can't allow that. Like, no, I just don't buy that for a second. Leave me afraid to stop his advances, whatever. So far, I'm not buying any of this. Like, this account, Brony Fandom, they post like 30%, actual good stuff, like the DeviantArt stuff with Gabriel Brown, but same percent of the time, it's just, just gibberish, just slop. Like this guy, this final page might save it. Let's see. Over time, I grew increasingly distant and would eventually end contact completely. Oh, there you go. That's good. I don't feel safe enough to fully come forward because I don't want his fans and friends or even him to harass or contact me publicly. I would just stay anonymous so I can avoid the anxiety and stress of being targeted by either him himself, his friends, and especially his fans, as Saberspark has over 2 million subs, and even sharing my story at all has me feeling really afraid. I have seen other instances of Saberspark using his enormous platform to confront people online he has had conflict with and heard. I have also witnessed several instances of his friends attempting to justify him his other actions. I was not made aware of his jokes about consent and his recent behavior involving Chris until one recently, and who the fuck is Chris? And it felt, I don't know who the fuck Chris is. I left my stomach in knots. Wait, what does that mean? I'm reading again. I was not made aware of his jokes about consent and his recent behavior involving Chris until one recently, and it left my stomach in knots. Is that a new allegation? Whatever. Please ask above all else for my privacy to be respected. I don't wish to publicly defend my personal experiences. I just wish to share my experience. End of testimony. Oh my god. So chat, how do we feel? How do we feel? How do we feel? Yeah, so I don't bias at all. Like, it's like one of those stories again, you know, like many other times where someone, you know, hooking with like a creator, you know, like a famous person, they, you know, they very clearly sound, you know, sexual connection, sexual, you know, energy between each other. And then once they fuck, you know, get it on, fast forward, they just regret it out of nowhere. I mean, you can regret it 100%, but you twist that like a rape allegations. That feels very bizarre. And you know, there were 2 times where like not once you didn't say, you know, oh, I don't want this. I get what you mean, you know, like oh, he's like physically intimidating, so you didn't feel safe to do that. But like still then, but not saying it once, it makes it hard for me to like buy the story. But you're right. I'm gonna read like the last part that Brony Fandom said. Please stop relishing in Saber's demise and replies to your rape testimony. Relish away in the proper venues. This is not one. Okay, base actually. Yeah, this is what, you know, some people in this community, right? They hate Saberspark so much that they would celebrate that kind of stuff, you know, some rape allegations. Like to a point where like they're happy that somebody got, you know, sexually assaulted and that the number one hated creator is, you know, having the demise. Like, do you really wish something that bad to somebody, you know, just like a small victory of having Saberspark taken down, fucking whatever. The previously mentioned video might no longer be oh no, fuck, and whatever. I was gonna watch anyways. I will say more when I know more. For now, the focus should be on the victim's story. Also, using caution is fine. There's missing allegations this series outright isn't. And now all your questions are fair ones. I mean, I'm not denying it so far, because also, you fast forward, and now we get you an announcement on Saberspark Discord. Where, yeah, same person, Brony Fandom, but he said, decided to make this its own post instead of adding it to the other one. Didn't want you to detract from it, but this is a response so far from Saber and co. And I guess like, you know, like his assistant, whatever, made an announcement on the Discord being like, hey, Saber's taking a break right now to gather himself, whatever. Hey folks, there won't be a stream tonight or for the rest of this week. Saber has to catch up on a few things and wants you to be 100% ready for streams, so you guys have his full attention. We'll get the stream schedule sorted and update you guys soon. The meme content entries will be reviewed on stream as well. We haven't forgotten. We're just trying to find a good day to get those looked at. Stay awesome, everyone. And there you go. And that was about today, actually. I mean, yeah, all these things, you know, are very new. You know, it came out just today, a few hours ago, about 3. Right now it's 8:42, 3 p.m. My God. And so so what do I believe about this? Number one, I don't really buy. Like, I think everything did happen, but like, you know, I don't believe it's like a rape allegation. Because like I've seen the story so many times. Where, you know, 2 people, you know, like I said before, sexual energy, they fuck, and then now the person regrets it, and that's fine. But don't make like a rape story, a rape allegation. That's just so much more fucked up and malicious, I feel like. Now, number 2, do I believe that Saberspark will respond to this? Oh my god, I'm fucking sweat like a pig. I think he might, yeah, you know. No, of course he will. You know. Like something this serious, you know, it can never like be swept on the rug. He has to respond to it, either by denying it or by showing proof, or third option, kneeling to it. I have no idea. In my opinion, with this setup, he might just deny it. Or he might, like, you know, say like it did happen, but not in that forceful, intimate way, not in a forceful, aggressive way, like, you know, brute forcing it. I don't believe that did happen, and I think, you know, Saberspark will also say that it did not happen in that way that she described it. But, you know, like that person said on Discord, we might see his update pretty goddamn soon, you know, maybe like a week, you know, couple of days, whatever, with his own, you know, debunking of that. And if that happens, I'll watch it as well. It's interesting. Like, these allegations, they're crazy, chat. And that was actually interesting, you know, I will admit that. So, Saberspark, if you're making a video, I'll watch it in the future if it comes out, you know. I'll see you guys, you know, doing that video. See you then.